Alright, check it out. Today we got an unboxing from Bombing Science. We got some markers, we got some mops, and a little bit of everything in here. No spray paint as we're still in a little bit of marker season here, but let's jump into it. I do like the Bombing Science tape. That's definitely a new addition since the last time I got an order from them. The guys from Bombing Science are always showing support, sending some stuff over to get reviewed. So let's see what I got. First off, got a nice little Bombing Science thank you sticker. These are also a little bit different than the blanks that they normally send. Ooh, fresh start. We got some gloves here. Little Bombing Science logo on there. They seem to be your pretty typical work gloves, rubber front, and then little just canvas back. A lot of people prefer these than rubber gloves because you're going to get a little bit of reuse out of them, as well as they're a little bit more robust. You're not going to be splitting fingers through them. Definitely got some unique caps in here now. So I asked for some of their more unique caps here in the mix because I haven't had a chance to use a few of these. So this first one is the Lego cap. So the Lego cap is actually a skinny line, and I'm pretty sure that Lego name comes after the yellow color to it. I've never used these before, but I'm definitely excited to give them a try. Got a few of them. So I got to come up with a unique way to make a review based on the cap, because normally I do it the other way around, and spray paint versus the cap. Next up is also a unique cap. This is actually kind of a throwback cap back from maybe the 70s and 80s graffiti era. So this one's called the Jiffy Cap, and it's basically a super fat cap. I've never used anything that looks remotely like this before, so I'll be excited to try that out. Male cap, but it's got quite an interesting pattern down here. We'll see what cans it's actually compatible with. Allegedly it's got some pretty fat flares and really nice putting out paint. And last up for the kind of unique caps, we've got the Wally. This is also supposed to be a kind of throwback mid-70s era cap designed by some guys that's been basically reinventing it, but technically gonna have a pretty fast output, a larger size. The output hole is pretty large anyway, so this is probably gonna give us some nice flares. Definitely stem style, so pretty cool ridges on top as well. Excited to see what works well with these. Got some yellow super fat. These were referred to as Sabotage or Astrofats at one point along the way. Got some of those. Definitely going to be a fat cap kind of style here. Bombing Science refers to this cap as a smoke thin, so it's got the gray body and the black outline. I don't think I've ever used something like this, so we'll see how skinny lines that produces. So I stand corrected that the yellow ultra fat was also called the Astrofat. The Astrofats are the clear guys, black outline. These are some of the first super fat caps that claim to have, the largest size around, so we'll see how they compare up to those other guys now. Clear body, black tip. And last up, everybody's more than familiar with the silver fats. These are always a nice one. These will clear your cans out with no problem. See what kind of literature and stickers we got here. So we got some Bombing Science, just long form, single stickers there, 98 on top. Maybe the 98 refers to their first year of business. Then we got a bunch of these red and white labels. These are kind of a thermal style sticker. It's something easy to draw on with alcohol markers. Good for little tags. Now onto the goodies. So first off, we got some KRINK streakers. These I've never used before, nor have I seen anybody else put stuff up about them. We've got 3 different colors here. First guy's label is just white, and then we've also got yellow, and I'm guessing just plain old black. Oh, looks like we lost a little safety tip on there. Looks pretty typical. So, come with a little hat, make sure it doesn't get squished in shipping. Feels pretty solid though. So the paint in here is going to be much softer than those cardboard covered paint sticks, and then you're also going to be able to twist out more on the end. So as you use up, you can retract or add more. So that's a real nice tip. I'm excited to try those out, see how they compare to, the typical Sakura. Maybe I'll even do some splitting between these and try some new stuff out. I've got some ideas for some cool gradient splits that I haven't tried yet. And next up, we've got some new products from Ironlak. These are called the Oozie. These are basically some little mini paint mops. Come with some nice packaging in there. This actually looks like a little bit separate of a just refill. Slightly different top on these two. So we'll have to see what the comparison with the white label and the black label is. Opening up the teal. Almost looks like we got the mohair nib. Kind of got that softer side to it. 10 ounces. We got the Frazetta here in that kind of teal color. Real excited for this guy. Classic black and pink labeling from Ironlak. Let's check out the little bit larger size. My guess is this is just going to be a little bit larger of a mop. This is the 60 milliliter. A little larger nib there. Does it say the nib size? There we go. 15 millimeter nib on this guy. A little bit larger. That's pretty typical mop size there for single tag stuff. Then we got the 10 millimeter. I like the 10 millimeter a lot. Those are going to give you those smaller tags, but you're also going to put the paint a lot further that way. So the colored labels are signifying the paint type. So the black label here is an acrylic base. So we got a water-based acrylic paint, opaque, refillable, and UV resistant indoor and outdoor use on those. And then the white label is a high quality alcohol base that's a dye ink. So xylene free, but maybe it'll also have some staining properties. Excited to check that out. Also got the white label on this pink. So my guess is this is going to be a really light red almost. So we'll have to see how that holds up. It's got a pink but it kind of has a deep red in there, so maybe a little translucent. But as an alcohol, that's pretty typical for reds and pinks. So next up, we've got an Acrylic Yellow. Surprisingly, these plastics are showing me trouble getting off. Seems to have got a little sticky leak in here from Eureka Yellow. Ironlak's accessories have had a teeny bit of trouble in the past. They had a paint marker line that pretty mixed results, so I was definitely hoping they had totally avoided that, but hopefully that's just a one-off case. The rest of these are going to be fine. So we got another 60 milliliter bottle, but this is a 23 millimeter mop. This guy's packing a punch. Definitely a nice pocket size, but also a pretty large nib. I like the construction of these a lot. The big ones are nice. The construction of the small ones, you know, definitely a little bit lighter of a body. But all in all, definitely sweet pocket size stuff. Pretty sure that's what they're going after here. Small volume in the tank here, but you know, you're gonna have some nice output, especially at that size. So we got another 15 milliliter, and I can definitely already feel some more. You can see my fingers are glistening a little bit from just touching this outside here, so definitely a little bit of leaking through some of these. Unfortunately, not every product's manufactured the same, so you know, there are some discrepancies here, but hopefully, you know, after tightening it down and just all the craziness that I'm sure it goes through with shipping, these are going to be spot on once we do get going. Being totally clear here, the orange is also sticky, so unfortunately, definitely have some leaking in there, rubbing around here. You can see my fingers glistening again. The nibs are relatively easy, kind of squish off to the side. So if these got bumped pretty heavy in shipping, I could see them start leaking a little bit. Needless to say, that's going to be all information for the review, but it's always good to show how this stuff's going to be received. I'm excited to see if KRINK throws Sakura for a run for their money. The products from KRINK are always top notch, so I have real good hopes for these guys. As for the caps, I'm going to come up with some creative ways to do maybe a fully cap review based video to demo these kind of unique guys. As well as for the Uzis, it's going to be a real typical review, testing these out on some different surfaces, see how the opacity holds up, maybe even test out the standing properties of these alcohol based. And one way or another, probably throughout all these reviews, I'll need some gloves, so those are going to come in handy. Be sure to check out the links in the description of the video if you want to check out any of these products. So you can head over to bombingscience.com, browse their selection there. They've got tons of markers and whatnot. You guys are very familiar with their stuff. There's going to be plenty of spray paint over there to support these caps as well if you're in a little bit warmer of an environment than I. If you enjoyed this unboxing, spray that like button. The support goes tremendously far here on YouTube. And if you haven't already, consider joining the crew by subscribing. I post weekly art-related videos, and I'll give you a little tease of last week's speed art. So in last week's video, I released a bunch of blank sticker packs. These are side shell destructible vinyls, really top quality stuff. And everybody that placed an order of these guys in the first week gets entered into winning that big sticker. So be sure to open up that new tab and check these out as well. That's gonna do it for me, guys. Peace.